I had the honor to introduce a wonderful group, a wonderful collective of artists that pretty much have the vision, that have the talent, that have everything you need for any type of group, any type of pretty much creative scene. So, without further ado, I have to announce the wonderful guests of episode 88, none other than the one, the only, FinagoPark.
Yeah!
That's better. Yeah, you know the
over.
Yeah, fuck y'all.
I want so grand.
Don't do that.
Yeah.
Don't do that. So how we doing today, boys?
I'm good.
Cool.
That's good. How about you? Talk to nobody. You seem kind of distant. Thank you for joining the live and being in the live. I don't know who wants to start the story, but of course, with every episode of Inside the Rapper Studio, there's an origin story told from the bottom of the screen. But since there's no bottom of the screen, somebody has to tell the origin story of how everything came to be about with FinagoPark. So,
I guess I'm the best one to do that job. Basically, long story short, me and Score knew each other since elementary school, basically first grade.
Wow.
Grew up together, always was rapping. We went to the same elementary school, ended up going to the same middle school, ended up going to the same high school. That's where we met Benjamin Banger. He did beats. We decided to all make music together. So we later on in life, you know, I met Rashid here, you know, Burnout. Basically, everybody we met along the way ended up having the same vision or very close to it. So we just rock with it. We make the best music, you know, eat the best pizza.
Word to Nardo.
I think one of the main questions is, from this long period of time of making music, not just with men making music, but actually having a group, a collective, and actually putting in new blood, what was the experience bringing in new, I don't want to say new characters, but new artists within FinagoPark, such as Burnout, such as Talk to Nobody?
I mean, the thing about it, it was just natural, because when we got together, everything just clicked. Like, the music clicked, like, the ideas clicked, like, and just being around each other was like, my man's for real.
Niggas' whole process is just hella natural. It's not like, hey, yo, you trying to fuck with us, blah, 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 blah. You know what I'm saying? It's like, yo, if you got the vision, you know what I'm saying? If you got the Finago, you know what I'm saying? Like, if you really got the Finago, then you really got it. We said that shit in Atlanta with what's his name? With the nigga y'all just seen again. Adam. Yeah,
Adam.
Oh, that was freaking Jodeci, but the same thing. It's like, if you got the Finago, you got it. And you know what I'm saying? So yeah, these niggas got it.
I'm kind of glad that you brought up the term before I did, because it would be a little cliche if I did it. So, I want you to define Finago for the audience that's watching right now. What is it, what it represents to you, and what does it mean to have it?
I mean, Finago, it has a definition. I don't have it on hand right now. But to put it in the simplest terms, it's balance, basically.
Mm-hmm.
It's basically like the way I like to characterize it is like, imagine, you know, you're in the ocean. When you're surfing, you're staying on top of the wave. Water can drown you, water can take you under because it's chaotic. It's all about being able to balance on top of the chaos.
Got you. I'm actually glad that you brought that metaphor up, because you said the pretty much water part about it and how natural it is. And we always talk about how natural it feels to pretty much be around FinagoPark, whereas though nothing's forced. Everything is pretty much controlled through like whatever we bring to the table. So how is it having all this natural pretty much energy to put inside of a group and just like flourish within it? Because not having anything forced almost seems unnatural in the game right now.
It's a gift and a curse. Because, of course, like when everything flows naturally, you just kind of, the art works perfectly, but I guess the curse side of it is that when you see yourself trying not to force things, sometimes you don't work as hard as you should or you have to because you're usually expecting it to flow out as naturally as it always does.
There's a P word that comes to mind when it comes to that statement, and the P word that I'm thinking of is patience. Mm-hmm. So how important is the patience within having Finago?
Extremely, nigga. That's a big part of the game. Like, yeah. I was gonna delve deeper, but I think
No, go ahead. Like, we got 45 minutes. Trust me.
Shit, I mean, like, you talking about patience. I mean, like, I feel like nobody may really. I mean, like, being able to act in a moment is very important, but like for the most part, like, just if it's like a strategic thing or whatever, it's like then nobody do nothing hastily. You know what I'm saying? Like, shit is like really planned out, mad heavy. You know what I'm saying? So it's like it's essential. And then like I guess with, you can say with us too. You know what I'm saying? Like. We would say it's just like for what we trying to accomplish or whatever, it's not no shit where we can just be like loose. I'm gonna just put this on and drop this, I'm gonna drop this. So like we gotta be very strategic about what we putting out because Steve Jobs said this shit. Like you got like only like this much time to like let people know like what you here for or whatever, and then like that'll be your first impression. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So you have to like really like treat that shit like. I mean, it's hella important. You know what I'm saying?
The first impression comment really sticks out like a sore thumb, but
tap your phone, bro. Tap the screen.
Tap the screen.
Yeah, you're going dark.
I'm going to. Yeah, it's fine.
No, if it's locked.
I don't know if it's locked, but it's fine. But when it comes to the first impression phrase and how it sticks out, it tends to be very important to have that persona locked in on that first impression. And when it comes to the first impression of FinagoPark, for some reason, it always sticks to redemption. So, when it comes to redemption, was that the first impression of FinagoPark?
I don't know, not that I know of. But I mean, the first impression we wouldn't be able to answer about our first impression.
Real shit.
I honestly don't know what people think of us.
Real talk.
Really?
Somebody let me know.
You gotta get focus groups on, man.
I mean, it's not really talked about. I mean,
real talk, yeah.
Like I never heard nobody ever say, FinagoPark is this. So
niggas don't really be worried about it.
Yeah, niggas be like, niggas sleep, but it's okay.
Understandable.
I know, like, I mean, niggas be doing shit. You know what I'm saying? It's just be like, I don't know how to describe this shit. Like, I don't know.
Is it like the most known unknown kind of situation?
Yeah,
we definitely.
You know what I'm saying?
Like 3-6.
I'm crunchy blood.
Thank you, man.
She DJ Paul with the
So
tap the screen again.
So I wanted to.
Going dark now, like it's the new thing.
I don't know why either. That never happens. But I wanted to go back to redemption, and the reason why I said it's the first impression of FinagoPark is because technically under the FinagoPark Presents umbrella, that was the first one.
All right, yeah, you're right.
So I wanted to kind of get where everyone's heads were when the rollout of redemption started, when we had choices to come out with, when we had the shows to do and stuff like that. So where was everyone at that time?
Where were you when redemption dropped?
Man, I can't even remember. was living good for real. Shit was cool. I don't even know. Shit was whatever. Shit was crazy. Like these niggas, we did choices on some random shit. I think I had just started going over to the studio with y'all niggas, and niggas had just started like recording in the crib for real. Not in the crib, but niggas had just started recording at the studio. So it was like I just started really that was like the beginning of me trying to really be on some rap shit. And at the same time, niggas was making some crazy shit. I was hearing some crazy shit. Be telling this nigga all the time, redemption crazy. Like that's my favorite tape. One of my favorite tapes at the time. I used to listen to that shit every morning. So.
Gospel.
Damn.
Yeah, shit was crazy.
Almost like affirmations.
Mm-hmm.
So actually, I want to like stick within the conversation around you, Rashid, because you tend to be the next gen when it comes to FinagoPark. I wanted to get your not impersonation, but your impression of like being within FinagoPark within that first 365 days within the camp.
I don't even know, bro. I was just around my niggas. I wasn't thinking like, wonder what these niggas like for the first 365.
Sorry about that, folks. This live shit is stupid.
That actually go back to the whole natural shit. Like, we don't really, like, even when we was talking about, like, the first impression and shit, like, we really don't think of much. We just be in the moment.
I don't even got game. I'm
Like,
just me.
yeah.
I'm just
Like,
saying.
we just be us for real. It's not. Just floating through these words.
Floating through the water. I can appreciate that.
Yeah.
So to stay on Burnout and his most recent release within Loopy Life 1K. If you haven't checked it out, please check it out.
Right now, yes, sir.
That's my shit.
So I wanted to get
six songs on that bitch. Go stream them up.
Only 6, but it feels
I wanted to get your
Feels like a movie.
I guess your thought process behind Loopy Life 1K, because it almost seems like a theme that's been around for quite some time for you.
I mean, nigga, it's loopy. Like the shit is just loopy. Like if I had to describe how I've been feeling for the last, it's like an arc maybe. Like this last couple years, it's been loopy. And like niggas wasn't really planning on making a like I was planning on making a tape, but I didn't really think any of the songs that I was making, I didn't plan for those to be like tape songs, if that makes sense. Like I knew I was gonna drop a tape song, I knew I needed to drop one, but it was just so much shit going on, just in general. Niggas was just making music, and it just turned out that at the end when I was like, yeah, check your screen.
Thank you.
I'ma drop this tape. Just was like, fuck it. Let me get together my playlist and just drop that shit. Put that shit together.
You had a lot of production on Loopy Life 1K from one certain guy, which is over here. Talk to nobody. What's it?
He right here. Like,
what is it like working with Talk to Nobody and having that tandem between like artist and producer?
We just goat it up, bro. We just dragging on niggas for real. Like that's it. That's it. We're dragging on niggas.
Can we make
that's it. That's it. Be like, man, I ain't out right now. We dragging on niggas. We dragging. That's it. It's like, fuck it.
Yeah, the
Spark
input.
a blunt and listen to that.
Yeah, the input, Ben.
Yeah, my song got the best tag in rap.
He does.
Yeah.
I legit.
I mean, this shit is self-explanatory. It's like, that beat fire, this shit fire. Like,
Eagle sound.
niggas don't like, new tag. We dragging on niggas. Drop.
FinagoPark, we dragging on.
So to kind of segue into the production style of FinagoPark, it almost seems like it's 80% producers, whereas though Talk to Nobody makes beats, Finago Baby makes beats, Burnout you make beats, Ben you make beats, shit, I even make beats on my own. So how does that kind of like craft the sound of FinagoPark rather than like the culture of
Niggas can
FinagoPark?
literally do whatever they want versus trying to trust somebody else with the vision.
And another thing, we don't really have to wait. Like we got what we need. Whenever it's all in house, so it's like.
And then, I don't want to do that.
Yeah.
And then on top of that, like, collabing is beautiful. You know what I'm saying? Where it's like, if I ain't got nothing, I'll be like, oh, son, you got some samples. Yeah. I got some melodies. Yeah. You know, or I bet. You know what I'm saying? I'll be like, I ain't got the sauce today. Let me give me one. But like, you ain't got the sauce? Here you go. You know what I'm saying? But yeah. It's cool to be able to have those people in your circle. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can. And then, like, on some, like, I like 100% be like, I'm not gonna get nothing phony, you know what I'm saying? And I don't get that from like hella people, you know what I'm saying? Where I'll be like, like this nigga sent me a pack, you know what I'm saying? Where it'd be like niggas like, yo, he sent me some shit. I'm like, well, let me brace myself, you know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, shit like that. It's beautiful.
So Finago Baby, you touched on a very important term within describing the sound, which is in-house. And DIY tends to be the talk of conversation nowadays, especially with like quarantine kind of shutting down major plays and things like that. So how important is the DIY culture to FinagoPark and not really waiting on anybody else and having total control within everything?
Man, I always got this concept about having like an advanced skill set, basically, just period throughout like in general. Because if anything falls apart with something that you're using, if you have the know-how, you'll always be able to pick yourself up by the bootstrap. So especially with music, say you follow up with a producer, if you know how to hop on that computer and produce, you can do what you gotta do. Like I said, like we stopped waiting. There's no waiting on nobody. Like I don't have to call and like, hey, when is this gonna be done? When is this? Blah blah blah. Like I just sit on the computer and do it myself. It cuts the middleman out, and also like when you have skills, you always just got your back basically. And by having a group of people with all skills, you always like everybody always got each other back, and like shit can always get done.
It'd be easy. I'd be like, nigga, let me get a verse. And like, let me get a verse. Okay, bet. Let me get a verse. And then, especially from y'all two, it'll be like, okay, like I need a good verse because niggas can't rap. You know what I'm saying?
They need some fresh 16, nigga. You know it's me.
You know what I'm saying? Like, so yeah, like that's great for me. You know, as a producer, you know how it feels to be like nobody really makes good songs on your beats. You know what I'm saying? That sucks. You know what I'm saying?
It's very depressing.
It makes me sad. I got more money just off of like letting my beats rock with nobody on them than I have with artists, and that makes me sad. You know what I'm saying? Like, but shout out to y'all niggas because we getting this dope.
Thank you. I actually want to kind of touch on the point that, Ben, you tend to be the Optimus Prime when it comes to FinagoPark, when it comes to like the big business parts. Like, no,
Now you do be calling me Optimus.
I call him Optimus Prime all the time. Like when it comes to just straight up the business side, like the legalities, paperwork, like even TuneCore, to the point where triangle offense wasn't a thing until you personally made it a thing. So I wanted to go back to time, let's say 2015, where we're pretty much in the works of making triangle offense. We got the paperwork. We already going on TuneCore. We made all the beats. Where is Benjamin Banger in all of this?
What, triangle during triangle times?
Yes.
Really, like, I was just trying to figure out how to start making money off this shit. You know what I'm saying? Because, like, by this point, I done had shit go viral on SoundCloud. He done had shit go viral on SoundCloud. And I'm like, enough. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, what up? I'm like, yo, we gotta do something. So, and like, and that was a chance for me to step in my bag. I'm doing it real heavy now, but it was a chance for me to step in my bag where I'm like, okay, let's like not even just the producer just making beats, but the like really the producer in terms of saying like we're gonna make this record. You know what I'm saying? Like, let me get this, let me get that, and coming through like with the vision. You know what I mean? So that was like real early practice on it. You know what I mean? My studio flow is hella better now. Like I fuck with like this is when I'm there. I know how to get what I want. You know what I'm saying? So that was just like, yeah, I was like niggas is trying to go off this. So I was really on my baby Phil Jackson. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you pretty much were the Phil Jackson. You were the orchestrated. You were pretty much like the orchestrator of Triangle Offense, making all the beats, even to the point where you made the covers and like both covers, both the.
That was the first real kind of good cover I made too. That was like, you know what I'm saying? I don't like it now, but like,
what?
Yeah, but at the time, like that was the first one I looked at. I was like, okay, I think you're getting better at these graphics. Shout out to this nigga Russie, because Russie had made an alternative cover, and I was like, yo.
That was the one you used. That was the one you made.
Yeah, the one it had like the Japanese on it. He made one where it was like the 3 bars and it was like the close up of like our eye or whatever. Yeah. That was, and it had the triangle in the middle. I was like, what the fuck? So I was just like, all right, bet. So that kind of inspired me to get in my bag a little bit more. So yeah. The original Jump Off was the like the black and white pick with
the 3
with Pippen, Jordan, and what's his name?
Jackson.
Yeah. But then after I saw that, that's when I had to make the one with the purple. So yeah.
Gotcha.
So yeah, it was like that was like super graphic bag and baby producer bag.
And that also goes into the bag of in-house, whereas though like we don't really go out for anything else like Period. Even when it comes to like videos, like we even started shooting our own videos to a point. Like with 2 Cent, there's a very released song of Triangle Offense. Like we even shot the video for that, and like just having that creative control is very necessary.
One thing though is like you gotta find the balance between your in-house shit and what's the word? Well, just
Outsourcing.
Yeah, you can say outsourcing. I'm forgetting the specific word I'm trying to say, but you gotta be able to balance it for real because like in some situations, like taking that taking like the extra whatever off yourself will free yourself up. But then it'd be a matter of like the people that I feel like we do work with, like outside of like us, got like a real official stamp. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't want to work with nobody who's like super phony or nothing like that. So if I feel like if I work with somebody, then like that's me sort of just saying like you're like me popping in collar. You know what I'm saying? Like you're FinagoPark certified. You know what I'm saying? Like, but I guess that comes along with you having like type of phone. Having like quality work yourself, you know what I'm saying? Like if I guess like on the natural tip, you know what I'm saying? If I get the vibe, I'm like, oh yeah, no, this nigga is like, I feel like I be going insane, you know what I'm saying? Like, if I just watch somebody like a videographer, I'm like, oh no, this nigga got a vision, you know what I'm saying? Like like if I can trust your vision with what you're doing, then yeah, I'll put you on. But like having that balance is important. But I guess one thing that I say too is another thing I'm gonna stop. Is it helps to be able to like have the knowledge of how to do everything because when you do have to delegate is what I was saying. When you do have to go through that delegation process, when you gotta go through that delegation process, it's easier for you to be like, all right, look, it's for you to tell somebody like the specifics of what you need if you can like break it down and like. The more specific you can get, you know what I'm saying? Like, if I've done it, I can go into extreme detail and that person will understand versus like, yo, I need blase, blah, and that person don't really know what you're talking about. Like, the more specific you can get is the better. And you can get that specific by doing it, you know what I mean? And we all kind of got that.
Gotcha. So, let's fast forward a little bit. We already went through the Triangle Offense stage. We already got stuff on TuneCore. Pretty much already doing paperwork for like streaming and things like that, and now we come to the crux of things, which is pretty much Butter. In my opinion, was like the apex of like the beginning stage of FinagoPark, whereas though like
era because all three of us, bro.
It
was that era.
Yeah, just having that era. So, segueing straight to Finago Baby when it comes to the creation of Butter, how important is that project to the mainstay of FinagoPark?
I know personally it was the first project I could really say I put my all into. Like I really wanted to make a great album. That's my first project that I would consider an album. And I also do feel, first of all, I was having a great year. I feel like everybody was having just a great year. Niggas was having fun. Niggas was like, it was just I felt like a rapper. Like I was living that rap life. You know, I had shit to talk about. You know, like it was crazy. You know, everybody was on their shit. Benjamin Banger got some Ben beats on there. You know, even some Talk to Nobody on there. It was just like, I don't know, everything just came together the way it was supposed to. And I guess it was also important for everybody too, because everybody was a part of something so great. You know? Like everybody seen it. Everybody was in the studio with almost every session. Everybody was, producing, putting their hands in on it. You know, it was like it was work for everybody, basically.
Gotcha. So, anybody got the sound?
857.
857. Oh wow. So, when it comes to FinagoPark and the album creation and the curation of everything, how important is it, not for total control of the vision, but how important is it the execution of the vision? Whereas though, like, we talk a lot about patience, and that patience having to do with, like, even if we have a project that we're working on, we don't really, like, see it being, like, 80%, like, complete of the vision of what we have. How important is having that patience with the vision and total completion of it?
Say again. Tap your screen too.
Thank you. How important is having the complete patience of the vision of your project that you're working on?
I mean, I say it's very important. Because if you're not patient, basically you're gonna put out a rush project.
You don't want to do that.
And a lot of people really do gotta. It's a balance between the pressure is always between making quality work and being consistent. Because sometimes you put too much of stock in quality, you end up waiting too long, you know, or like basically, I mean, you can fall off while people waiting on you, you know, like I was saying on some Frank Ocean shit, but it's like, but everybody still care about him, but like, you know, you can't just wait trying to make the perfect project all the time. Sometimes you gotta let shit flow. But you can't be too consistent because then you will burn yourself out.
You get to the point where you'll get burned out, and then you'll burn people out to the point where it's like you ever subscribe to something in the email, and then like you be like, oh yeah, but then like after maybe like 6 months, like
you stop clicking it.
Yeah, you stop clicking it, and it's like it's almost a blur to you. It's like you don't even like acknowledge it. You see it, and you swipe it away immediately.
Makes sense. So there's two spectrums to a project like this. The first spectrum is pretty much not necessarily rushing, but just striking with the iron's hot. And striking with the iron's hot is a very good example of both bangers, which is mostly recently dropped. So tell us about the process of making both bangers.
Man, shout out F.
Yeah. No, you get the camera. You right here.
But I came in this year. I had a list of things I wanted to do, and I said I wanted to produce more for Beth. And one day I was like, "Get these beats." And I just picked them, and it was cool. And everything went kind of smooth. It's real easy, real kind of straight to the point. There's like every kind of song got like a different little whatever, but is and that's my sister. It's easy, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it was just like, okay, let's put these songs together. Maybe with the last song being like sort of different because it had a whole different beat, and I just sort of just remixed it. Like, that was kind of cool. But it was regular. I feel like this one was easier than any other project I've had to do. Shout out Beth, you know.
Gotcha.
Everything was really kind of done already.
So how long did it take to make both bangers?
Some months. Some months.
In those some months, I don't want to put a number on it because it's just some. In the process of those some months, did it ever click to you where though like this album is kind of like coming out rapidly and everything's kind of clicking on all cylinders, or was it just a very natural process where you didn't even think of it?
By the time I gave her the pack. It wasn't like, I feel like if anything, I might have slowed down stuff. I feel like if anything, I slowed down some shit. But yeah, no, it was kind of straight to the point with both bangers for real. And like I said, like in real life, I guess like this is probably, I could say the easiest project I was involved with. Beth did like 80%, and I came through with it.
Gotcha.
Beat was done. There was only like one beat on it that I had to do specifically for the project. All of them was just done.
So that's the fast process of the patient side of making a project, and now we go to the very long-awaited side of like really honing the sound, really honing the time, really honing the patience of it, which is the upcoming project from FinagoBaby. You want to share the title of it?
Oh, Finago Season 1.
There you go. Talk to us about Finago Season 1 and the process of making it.
Finago Season 1 was me hopping on my box, basically. So you're going to definitely hear some music that you probably won't consider, FinagoBaby music. But it's still me. Definitely, like, especially by the lyrics, but I'm just trying new art styles, just trying to see how I can evolve and just changing the age, basically. And, this is my test of that,
Gotcha. What would you say is the main difference between this FinagoBaby with Finago Season 1 and Butter FinagoBaby or FinagoBaby Redemption?
this Finago Baby here, I wasn't trying to because I didn't really have like with Butter, like it was like a concept album, it was a story, it was like I was just putting something together. So this on this project I feel more free. I feel more free to do what I want. I feel like I could just, on the track talk about anything. Yeah, God bless you. And basically I'm just not, I don't have no chains on anymore. I'm out here me, like.
So a sense of freedom.
Yeah, basically.
Gotcha. So how long is it taking for Finago Season 1 to make? Because in comparison to both bangers, like whereas though that's some months, it almost seems like Finago Season 1 is some years.
Well, the thing about Finago Season 1, majority of it was done like a year ago, basically. But the thing about, like, I was just having certain situations in my life, money problems, and then coronavirus came, and it, like, I had a lot of pushbacks because it was small things I had to change. It was outside of the music itself, videos and art, just direction, because you can't just put out shit with nothing attached to it.
Gotcha.
Y'all good? Y'all good? Tap your screen, bro. Tap the screen.
All right, thank you.
That's screen.
So, in comparison to the process of making Butter being as though it's somewhat of a concept album, and Finago Season 1 essentially just being the most free, most loose, most natural form of Finago Baby, do you feel as though it still goes within that, I guess, rubric or pretty much like process of having patience within?
I mean, I guess this one, just me being free, it was all patient because I never really gave myself any deadlines or guidelines. So it was just like, not fuck it, but it's just like,
go with the flow.
Me whatever happens, happens.
Very natural, very natural. What can we expect from Finago Season 1?
Man, some music for the bitches, some music for the players, you feel me? Some music for when you sad, some music when you're happy, for when you want to turn up, you feel me? Some shit to make you think. Just everything is on there. It's like a playlist. It's like a cool playlist. Like the type of playlist you would make if you walking to school, for your bus ride to school when you was in high school. It almost sounded like a couple of different artists on there.
You gotta play it around some hoes for real, man.
Very wide.
You can't play it around some hoes.
It's all-purpose music for real.
All-purpose music, and that actually speaks on the diversity of FinagoPark. Thank you. With the diversity of FinagoPark, it almost seems like it's different, not just different artists, but different genres within different artists within FinagoPark. What do you kind of attest that to in terms of the sound and how diverse it is? Oh, yeah. Of course, Ben.
It's because we fucking bros, yo. I know I done sampled shit I would have never listened to if I ain't know niggas, you know what I'm saying? And it'd be shit. Niggas would just be having moments. I'd be like I might sample some shit just because like we was all in the whip. Like I just sampled like the Soul Paul shit just because like we was talking about like Soul Paul sort of for like 3 days, you know what I'm saying? Like so it was, I was just like fuck it, you know what I mean? So yeah, that bleeds into the music.
Gotcha.
Stanley Rubrik. Oh shit. Yeah,
Stanley.
Yeah, we're just having a fun class.
I see. I appreciate it. Rubik's Cube. Rubik's Cube. I actually want to speak more on that because it's not
Rubik's Cube.
Not Rubik. Obviously not fucking Rubik's Cube. But like outside of the music within FinagoPark, it's a somewhat of a fraternity. It's somewhat of like a pretty much code of bond. So I wanted.
You gotta sacrifice your life to us.
Yeah.
Niggas don't know about that. Shout out Blue Shiesty,
So I wanted to speak more on the
nigga. This that coach shit. Yeah.
Thank you. But I wanted to speak more on, I guess, the fraternity side of FinagoPark and the brotherhood of it, if you mind.
Yeah.
That's a secret.
Guess that wraps things up.
Trilluminati.
Yeah.
Tapestry.
Or Mana.
Hey.
But yeah.
If you
Wonderful.
got Finago, you know.
If you want to find out, come join.
Yeah, you gotta pay dues though.
We'll put you through the test.
Come
We'll
live
put
out
you
all
through the
your
ring,
dreams.
see if you can handle it.
Come and live out all your dreams at FinagoPark.
There's no love lost, you know what I'm saying, if you can't. But like
But if you can, you can join. I'll pass the test.
we would never steer you wrong.
I can attest to that. But yeah, wonderful interview so far. I wish my computer was still on so I can do the applause machine, but it's not.
That's cool.
Thank you, Rasheed. Thank you. Let's give a few shouts out to everybody that's in the live right now. Who shouts out to? Thank you. Shouts out to Shine Finsta. Shouts out to LBDYC. We got Stuck on Yanny. Who else we got in here? We got Taj, of course.
That would have been crazy if Sean was in alive.
If Sean was in my live, I would probably quit my job.
That would have been sad.
Why isn't he in the live?
You would have had to do it inside the rapper studio with Chubb.
We need to ask
Sean.
some questions for real.
Right? How you feel about
I'm about to
right
just,
now?
I'm about to
Sean?
share the video.
I'm gonna kill that nigga when I see him. So, FinagoPark. Ben, what are you doing?
Sorry.
It's cool. That was just random. But
I'm done.
His button's way better than yours.
FinagoPark, do you have any last words, any last promotions, any last propaganda for the people?
Yeah, shout out this nigga Title, cause Get It Started Dre drop.
Oh yeah, get it started, yo.
Screen loop me like a million times. When you're not doing anything, play it. When you're doing something, play it. When you're doing your homework, play it.
When you're in church,
When you're in church,
the
play it.
synagogue,
Put your AirPods in, just bump it. Just,
say,
you know, Loopy Life 1K out everywhere now. Bump it all the time. Listen to it.
tell the
Say,
priest.
If you in the back of the paddy wagon and you can get your
This is the last thing you can have.
Put
Turn
your
Loopy Life
headphones
1K
in.
on.
You'll go straight to
turn it
heaven.
on. If you in the back of the paddy wagon, definitely throw Loopy
Yeah,
Life
just
1K
try-
on one time. And then just imagine it the whole night that you in jail. And then when you get out in the morning,
Bump that.
yeah, bump it again.
Like,
Bump it
bounce
again.
back. You
And it'll be even crazier listening. You'll say, wow.
Wow.
Damn. Maybe you gotta switch some things up. Maybe you gotta get a day job.
This nigga been shit about this shit.
Why did you put it out? If you ain't put it out, things would have went so differently.
Minutes late.
Y'all wasn't there when we was screaming free Ben, but he
Man.
home now.
I'm cool.
My nigga home and he good. He straight. He was in that bitch eating crackers and plums.
Unknown.
And sunflower seed kernels.
What? Okay. And grape drink. Niggas ain't give me no water.
Yo had to spread us.
Well, I'd like to thank you guys for joining me
The
tonight.
nigga season 1 coming soon. Flow Ace video coming soon.
That's how you
That's how we close that one out.
Dr. Umar Johnson. The goddamn NBA is a suspect.
I'm black in my house.
I'd like to thank everybody that was on the live tonight, whether it's 1 second, 1 minute, or the entire show. Huge shouts out to Jesus.
Telepathy Club on the way.
I don't even know at this point. Huge shouts out to everybody that's in the live, whether 1 second, 1 minute, or the entire show. Huge shouts out to IG for not fucking up the live, but then again, it probably wouldn't fuck up because I didn't join with anybody. Huge shouts out to everyone that joined. Tomorrow we got Miss Cam. We're gonna be talking about birthday pack. We're gonna be talking about the perfect rollout. Talking about a lot of things. So once you guys roll in, we'll get this thing started. So, from your host, Score Swayze, and our wonderful guest of episode 88, FinagoPark, I would like to tell you guys, thank you very much. And as always, wash your hands, wear a mask, stay in the house. What is this question? I swear. I swear to fucking God.